I think 2022 is going to be hard because what got the original D2C darlings to IPO and to become large businesses, a lot of those things don't hold true anymore, right? Lower consumer acquisition costs, lower, CPMs on Facebook, things like that. And then I think this is a larger conversation around global supply chain disruption.
That was a clip of Orchid Bertelsen, previously the head of consumer experience, strategy, and innovation at Nestle, CTC CEO Taylor Holliday, and 4x400 CEO Andrew Ferris. With Orchid's experience in marketing, innovation, supply chain, and beyond, her perspective is timely and urgent for every e-commerce brand. That's why we're proud to announce Orchid as the new COO at Common Thread Collective. Here are Orchid Bertelsen's 3 operational breakthroughs for e-commerce success. Breakthrough number 1 is focusing on important rather than just interesting priorities.
I have a lot of conversations where I remind people that there are really only 3 ways to make money. You sell more to the same consumers, you sell to more consumers, or you cut costs. And so then the question is going to be, which one of those 3 is the lever that you're going to pull? And you can pull a combination of those. After all right, here are my targets annually, then I would do a layer down, say, all right, where do I think this opportunity is going to come from? The problem isn't that people aren't willing to take hills. They're willing to take hills, but sometimes they take the wrong ones. And so even early on in my career, I would look around and I see something not happening and I assume it's not happening. So I'm going to do something against that. Now the intentions are good, but as you get bigger, it is not possible to be everywhere, to know everything, regardless of the level that you're at. I just haven't seen that level of transparency in a large organization. And so for us, it's about being intentional of separating important from interesting so that people don't burn out, so that people are all focused on delivering the performance that we're all here to do.
One thing they discussed on the full podcast was understanding your personal strengths and managing the challenges that can arise. If you're a person that gets a lot of ideas like myself, this is something to keep in mind when you're setting those priorities. Orchid believes the more you grow, the more clear and succinct your initiatives must be, which connects to operational breakthrough number 2. How to increase employee engagement in effort versus impact. Throughout the interview, Orchid stressed the importance of not only attracting great employees, but also helping them feel a sense of purpose in your organization. Here, she highlighted a few ways you can accomplish this.
Graphic designers want to know that they have an impact on the business, a material impact. Yeah, and so one thing too, because it's if they don't see the impact of their work, and they may ask, why am I even doing this? And so one thing that I've been thinking about, and maybe it's close to a midlife crisis, we don't know, maybe it's the COVID effect, is this idea of effort versus impact, or this effort impact ratio, right? Because in a lot of organizations, everything feels really high effort with seemingly minimal impact. And impact can be defined as business impact, but also personal impact. And so the reality is that we all are at-will employees. We can go wherever we want. We can do whatever we want, especially when we're surrounded by really smart people. And so they are here to be a part of the mission. And if they feel like their work does not contribute to the health of business, to supporting the clients, to whatever it is, they're going to disengage. And Taylor and I have many conversations lined up to talk about the importance of employee engagement.
Many of us have heard the quote, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. But how do you measure employee engagement? Can an individual's clarity on company goals be quantified as well? Orchid covered this in her final operational breakthrough, the importance of clarity for adoption and being able to track it.
My question to you, Orchid, would be, how do you think about the clarity of the vision strategically in terms of the adoption of it?
I think you're not going to get adoption without clarity. Right? Because if you're clear about what the goal is and everyone is clear on it, and they are understanding the role of free cash flow in a healthy business and their particular role in generating that, they're going to want to do it.
When you give a strategic vision, Orchid, how do you assess the people's understanding of it as you deliver it?
You ask a lot of questions, right? Because I think it's very easy to try to bring the tablet down from the mountain and pontificate on what the mission is. And so I think it's very easy to have that moment where you're like, I'm saying this thing and they're repeating back this thing. And so they must get it, but they don't. And so the only way to do that is to ask questions of saying, all right, when I say this, or when I did that, feedback is a gift, right? What did you think? What was your takeaway? How would you describe it back to me?
Let's quickly review the 3 operational breakthroughs for e-commerce success. First is focusing on important priorities rather than just interesting ones. Second is increasing employee engagement by giving full visibility on how each employee is making an impact. And Orchid's third breakthrough is increasing adoption through the power of clarity and measuring that clarity through the power of questions. On this podcast, they covered a lot of other important topics such as work-life balance, so be sure to check out the full episodes linked in the description below. I personally can't wait to spend more time with Orchid and bring you even more of her expertise. Follow her on Twitter and give her a warm welcome to the CTC family. And until next time, keep growing your business, and we'll be here to help you make it happen.